So, you haven't trained in a while. You've been sick, or you've been traveling, or you've been too busy. What's going to happen to you? Are you going to lose strength? How should you deal with it? All of those things there are going to be covered in today's video. But the first thing to know is that you will get weaker. You will lose strength, and you won't be lifting the same numbers that you were lifting before you took the time off. For this reason, it's important to stay emotionless and not really care about what's happened, right? Because if you go gym and you're getting annoyed and you're getting frustrated that you're weaker, or it feels a bit off, the lift feels off, or when you go to squat, your hips and all of that are feeling tight. If you let that annoy you and get to you, then you've lost. You've been defeated by objects that aren't even living. You've been defeated by weight. Every time you train, but especially when you've taken time off, you have to stay emotionless and you just have to make the best of a bad situation. Essentially, you got to deal with the cards that you've been dealt. And very likely, those cards are going to look something like a loss in strength, a loss in performance. Maybe your technique is a bit off and you need to use lighter weight to get the technique back to where it was. Or maybe you just feel tight and you need to stretch, something along those lines. When you find out that those things have happened and those results are the truth, then like I said, you just have to stay emotionless. You can't react, you can't let the gym defeat you, but most importantly, you can't be walking out of the gym early. You can't be leaving your workout early because you've got disheartened because the weight on the bench press that was once easy is now feeling like nearly a 1 rep max. You can't be doing none of that. You have to stay in the gym and go through the exercises one by one and follow this next tip I'm about to give you. Alright, so we've established that you're going to have an open mind and you're just going to deal with whatever result you have when you first go back in. And now let's talk about how are you going to be able to recover from this. So when you've taken time off the gym, very likely you haven't been eating well, which means that you've lost some weight and more importantly some muscle. You want to rebuild your strength in appropriate weight jumps back to where you were. So let me give you an example, right? Say for example, I was squatting 120 for 3 sets of 5, right? And then I get sick, whatever, I don't go to gym for 15, 20 days, I then get back in the gym. There's no way I'm gonna go back to 120 for 3 sets of 5. That will feel like a 1 rep max. Instead, I'm gonna use the warm up as an indication tool to see what weight I should start at, and then I pick a starting point weight. I would use something like 80 for 3 sets of 5, and then next week 90, the week after that 100, then I'd build it back up to 120 in about 5 sessions. That would take me 2 weeks. I train twice a week, so 4, and then on the 3rd week, on the Monday of the 3rd week, I'm going to be back to where I was. The key here is to use the warm up as an indication of your starting point. So if I'm warming up, right, and I find that 90 feels easy, 100 feels easy, I can probably start my starting point at about 105, right? So I do 105 next week, 110, 115, and just like that in 4 sessions this time, I'm back to where I was. And this applies for all the exercises, the overhead press, bench press, any type of row, anything like that. You definitely want to take a weight decrease and build up in same weight jumps every time. Usually the amount of weight you're going to have to take off will range between 5 to 10 kilos. So if it's a smaller exercise using less muscle such as the overhead press and you were doing 50, you're probably going to have to take away 5 kilos maybe to about 45. Maybe even 10 to about 40. However, if it's a bigger exercise such as the squat, you're going to have to take more than 5 or 10 off. You're going to have to, in the example I gave, I went down to 80, so that's a 40 reduction. That'll wrap up my experiences of taking time off the gym, how to deal with it. Number one thing, and possibly the most important one, is to not let it get to you. You just have to stay emotionless and just work up session by session, week by week, back to where you were. It's going to be a long process. The truth is, it's not going to be a long process. I lied. It will take about 5 sessions, 2 to 3 weeks max. And 2 to 3 weeks is nothing in the yearly cycle. There's plenty of weeks in the year for you to sacrifice 2 or 3 to have a steady recovery, just like I'm recommending in this video. So that was the first tip, right? And then the second one is to just take it slowly. Once you take it slowly, do slow weight jumps. Don't overshoot or overreach the weight, because if you do, you're going to fail the reps. You're going to cause too large of a stress for your body to adapt, which would then mean when it comes to your next session, you're going to have to go even lower down because you're not going to make the gains adaptation that you want. Instead, you're going to regress back in strength. So that's the second tip. With those two, I think no matter how long you've come off the gym or whatever's happened to your life outside the gym, you're going to be able to get back on track very quickly. And that concludes today's video. Let me know what you think below and catch you in the next one.